Hello everybody, I'm here with another video. Today we will be talking about when God, or we think we're following God's plan or God's will, and it doesn't ultimately work out. I think to start this, we got to really look at one of the most prominent figures in the Bible, especially the New Testament, that's St. Paul, who for a lot of his life actually condemned Christians. Doesn't say a lot about his prayer life or spiritual life or how much God, told him to do that. But I think in his heart, to some degree, he did believe he was doing God's will. He believed that the Jewish faith was still intact, that Jesus was not the Messiah. I have to agree to some respect, and that these Christians needed to be exterminated because they were in defiance or in against the Jewish faith. So I think his life is the perfect example of what we should do when we think we're following God's will and it doesn't work out. Because what does St. Paul do? He pivots immediately. It obviously takes a while, and before he starts his ministry, he goes and prays in the wilderness for a long time. Change does not happen overnight, but that's one of the first things we got to recognize. And first off, we always got to recognize that as long as we're doing our part, what does that mean? In a big decision, make sure that we're giving it a amount of ample prayer, going to scripture, talking like a priest or some friends or some people that we know are into their faith and they're going to help us, give us that concise advice, and then go to God. God, I'm going to make this decision. Are you opposed or not? And if God doesn't give you anything, that means go for it. If you can feel in your heart you got that pit in your stomach, that's when you know, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. But if that's not the case, then you should definitely give it a chance. And God will direct you along the way. Nowhere in the Bible does it say God will tell you what to do, in every instance. In some big decisions, he certainly will. But a lot of somewhat big decisions, he will not give you the answer. As Christians, we're called to make a decision and then let God join us there. So yeah, let's not beat ourselves up, I had a friend of mine that super holy. He's working with the brothers in Jamaica, and he joined the Jesuits first and just was not a good fit. But he felt in his heart that God had called him there, and he was confused. Why would God call you to the Jesuits? But we got to remember, God does everything for a reason. And even if it's not, it's an opportunity to trust him. It's easy to trust God when every time he tells us to do something, it's going to work out. That's not really trusting. That's easy. It's more difficult when the God of the universe tells us to do something, it doesn't necessarily work out. Well, do you still trust me? Because it's the same in a relationship. Your wife, hopefully, or your husband, hopefully wants what's best for you. That doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to work out. But we have to recognize that, okay, just like God, it's not always going to work out. Because if it did, it'd be tough to trust your wife, right? Because that relationship is not the same as God. God tells us, do you trust me? Do you love me even when things don't work out? Okay, good. This is exactly how you should love your spouse. Even when things don't work out, are you still going to be with them? Or if you're a priest or that, you still got to say, okay, I'm a priest. I still trust my advisors even if stuff doesn't work out. I trust my parents, my friends, my advisor, whoever. I trust them because even if it doesn't work out, this is my relationship with God. God calls me to trust me even when it doesn't work out. So, what do you get out of this video? 1, follow St. Paul. Make sure to pivot when those things happen. Take time for prayer. Take time to deepen your faith with God in those decisions. And continue to seek out advice or help or prayer when things doesn't go your way, for sure. 2, let's not beat ourselves up. As long as we're praying and God's not telling us that we shouldn't do a decision, go for it. It might not work out, but it's part of God's plan because he's giving us the freedom of choice there. And finally, enjoy life. We can't be too stressed or anxious about these big decisions. Yes, they have big weighing implications, but as long as God doesn't tell us to do it, as long as the pit in our stomach is not telling us, okay, do not do this, God's giving us the green light. Go for it. End of the Matthew gospel. I will be with you always to the end of the age. If he's not telling you to do something, go for it. Live God's plan and change the world. Have a great day, guys.